questions up to this point? Any other questions? Keep going. Sisters? No questions? Should I ask you some questions? No? Okay. So what about the evil eye? So the first question about the evil eye, al-ayn, right? Al-ayn can be the eye or the evil eye, right? And anytime you see mention the evil eye, everybody if something bad happens, oh, I got the evil eye today, right? Isn't that the first thing? Oh man, that person was looking at me hard. Oh, that woman was staring at my dress. That's why my dress got messed up, right? And you hear it all the time. The kid falls and busts his lip open, and then right before that, somebody else had said, oh, the kid, look at this kid, beautiful kid, right? And so there's techniques. If something like this is happening, there's things and there's ways to protect the child. And there's ways to protect yourself from the evil eye. And the evil eye, if the question is it real? It is very real. Very, very extremely real. It is the envious look that you look at another person for anything that they have. Either the way they look, the way they dress, the way they act, the way they do things. There's only a couple of ways that we can be jealous of the person. The one is the person who's righteous and who goes and he teaches, meaning the person who is teaching for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the one who's spending for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are the individuals that we have the right to be envious of. Others that we do not have the rights of being envious towards. So, that envy that comes into our minds and we look at something, one of the first things that you say is, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. Blessed is Allah, MashaAllah, may Allah bless and may whatever Allah has willed. Do not go against Allah's will. After the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is written in the Lawh al-Mahfuz, if there's anything that can, and this is even written in the Lawh al-Mahfuz, anything that can come and break that or that can affect it is the evil eye. And that is something that we want to protect ourselves from, and we want to protect our community members from, our children, our families, everyone from this. And from an authentic report, the Prophet ﷺ used to talk about the effects of the evil eye. So Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, the Prophet ﷺ said, used to tell herself to recite the ruqyah, the incantation. And what is the ruqyah? This is the spiritual incantation, and it includes the Fatiha, includes the Ayat al-Kursi, includes the last 3 surahs of the Quran. These are things, and then you make dua, you say A'udhu Billah as much as you possibly can. These are things served for the protection from the evil eye. And again, the evil eye is very real, and if anything were to overtake the divine decree, it would be the evil eye. So, there's one of the things that helps to, if you are affected by the evil eye, when you are asked to take a bath, to provide a cure from it, from the influence of the evil eye, you should definitely take a bath and believe in it. This is definitely real. We believe in it. It is a part of our religion. It is part of, something. The Prophet ﷺ himself had magic, that occurred with him through, this is part of the evil eye and, magic and all of these other things that take place in the world. In certain parts of the world, it takes, it's more apparent. One of the first things that happens usually, if a family starts to fight, they always, say that there was some type of magic that took place, or there was some type of evil eye. We loved each other, now we hate each other. And usually it's not that simple. For one of the first things that you probably want to concentrate on is if, a family starts a fight, a husband and wife, they were in love and now they're not in love. Before you even go there, one of the first things that you should try to figure out were they practicing their Islam properly or not? Meaning, were they still praying? Were they still making dua to Allah, doing the things that they're supposed to do? If they're away from the prayer, then the evil eye is, not their problem. Their problem is that they're already away from the religion. Now, if they're still praying and they're still doing, and then the evil eye may have taken place. And so what this means is you need to recite the Quran. And one of the other surahs that you should be reciting in the Quran to help to get away with the shayateen and have the angels come and bless your house is reading Surah Al-Baqarah and reading Surah Al-Imran. And I know, again, one of the questions that we get is, what if I just play the tape? What if I just play the CD player? What if I just play this inside the house? Is this enough? SubhanAllah, a lot of the scholars say that's okay. I personally am of the belief that it's you. You have to get involved. You gotta start taking some, responsibility for your own action, right? And so you need to go and you need to start, reading the surah yourselves, and you need to make that effort, because the effort of just playing it, what it's doing is playing in the house, and you are working, your wife is working, or your spouse is working, your children at school, and it's just playing inside the house for no apparent reason. inshallah, may Allah give you the ajr for just having at least something being recited in the house, even if it's through a tape or, disc. But the actual recitation from you yourselves is what's most important. After the fara'id prayer in the masjid, then you should try to pray more sunan prayers inside the house. Don't make the house a graveyard. Don't make it something that you only pray inside the masjid and you never ever pray inside your house. And I'm not talking about the fara'id. I'm talking about fara'id should be inside the masjid. I mean the obligatory prayers should all be inside the masjid, but the sunan prayer, try to pray them inside the house. And again, we're talking about the evil eye now. Any question on the evil eye? I'm pretty sure the evil eye is a very interesting topic and everybody loves to talk about the evil eye and everybody wants to know if they're possessed or not. No question on the evil eye? SubhanAllah, there's a question right there.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, what kind of bath are you talking about as far as the evil eye is concerned?
I'm sorry, what was the first word?
What type of bath are we talking about as far as...
Oh, the ghusl. So the ghusl?
Oh, the ghusl.
The ghusl. So in general, when we say ghusl, there's a proper method of taking the ghusl. And it's basically doing the wudu. I'm going to just give you to a nutshell. Making the wudu, except for washing your feet. So you gargle, you blow your nose out, you wash your face, arms, do the masa, and then you wash the right side of your body, left side of your body, and then finally wash your feet, and then you're out. That's the ghusl, right? And I would say everything, when you take a regular bath, that's not considered to be the formal ghusl that is in the sunnah, but the ghusl itself is what you should be taking, and it should be, say the dua to go into the bathroom, protect him from the shaitan, and then take the bath, and then when you leave the bathroom, again, make dua, make the dua for wudu, and make the dua for leaving the bathroom, and try to, again, the more you're involved with your spirituality, the more you say, the more the adhkar that you learn and you revise and you learn, and you try to say it as much as you can, the better you're going to get at it, right? And the more the time you spend in doing this, you'll see there's going to be a difference in your life. There's going to be some peace in your heart. The sakina, the tranquility that everybody's always looking for in their hearts, it comes from these little actions. We try to do big things very few times, right? But what we should be doing is very little things a lot of times. If we perfect the little things, these are the little things that mount to the big things. And so we always try to get here without, taking this series of steps and, climbing up the ladder that we should be trying to climb. So again, you try to do as much as you can. So if you know how to make the ghusl, like I said, if you need more attention to it, inshallah, we can talk about that. So now some of the du'as. One of the du'a that the Prophet ﷺ used to make for his grandchildren, Hassan al-Hussein, was أعيذكما بكلمة الله التامة من كل شيطان وهامة ومن كل عين لامة. And then he used to ask for protection from the shaitan and from the evil eye for his grandchildren at a very young age, when they were still small. And so that is the same thing that I would request of you doing. So for your children, your nieces, your nephews, you should be constantly asking for this dua. You should be constantly asking for the protection from the evil eye and from the shaitan for all of your children all the time, every single chance that you get. The final things that you should probably do before you go to sleep at night is ask for that protection for your children. أعيذكما, and that's for two. If you have three or more, you say أعيذكم بكلمات الله التامة من كل شيطان وهامة ومن كل عين لامة. So, can the evil eye afflict a person? How is it treated? And does being on one's guard against it contradict putting one's trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Meaning, if you're taking these precautions, does that mean that you now don't have tawakkul to Allah? That you don't have that trust in Allah? No. Remember the tying of the camel? The Prophet ﷺ said, when the Bedouin came, tie your camel, right? Tie your camel, meaning do everything that is in your power, and then rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the same message that I give to you today, is you try to take care of everything. You say your adhkar, you say your dhikr, right? You make your dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you make your prayers, you say everything that you need to say, you do everything that you need to do, and then leave the rest up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what a true believer does. He's always trying to take care of everything that is around him. So now, if you are afflicted, or if you think you're afflicted, what do? Recite ruqyah, recite Fatiha, recite Ayatul Kursi, recite, the du'as from the Quran, if you know them, like, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Allah, bless me in this world, bless me in this life, and give me the best in the next world, and the best, in the next world as well. So these are the du'as that you ask. I think we have a question here again for, what's your name, brother? Tawfiq. May Allah give you more tawfiq, inshallah. He's got another question. Go ahead, brother.
What?
Go ahead, think about it.
What did you say earlier about the
Say it in the microphone, I didn't hear you.
What did you say earlier?
Oh man, you want me to repeat everything I said before?
Only
Or are you
some
talking
of
about the dua for the children?
Well, could you say surahs that you know?
Oh, yes, yeah. If you don't know the surahs that we're talking about, what surahs do you know, brother? Do you know everything from Surah Nas?
Surah Al-Nas and
Surah Falaq?
no,
You don't know Surah Falaq?
right?
So Surah Nas is a good one. You should definitely say Surah Nas. Surah Nas is one of the surahs that you should be saying. Surah Falaq is another one. Surah Kafirun. Surah Ikhlas. These are surahs that you can say. And these are all mentioned in different types of hadith that are appropriate. And if you don't know any particular surahs, you can say any surah that you know.
There's also another one that I know how to say, except I forgot the name of it.
Okay, inshallah, I can get offline today, and then I can test you on which surahs you know, and I'll tell you if those are the surahs that you should be saying. If you don't know, I'll mark them up for you. Inshallah, all right? Any other questions? This is good, this is good. See, this is good. At a young age. How old are you, brother? 8? MashaAllah, you look a little bit younger than 8, but MashaAllah. 8 years old. Inshallah, Allah give you a bright future. Allahumma ameen. And then there's another technique. So, for example, if you know of a person that has, committed some type of a hasad, some type of envious behavior, and there is confession, or there's admission of it, then one of the things that you should do is that person should take a bath as well, right? The person who has done the envious act, that person should take a bath as well, and the person that has been done to take a bath. And again, the ruqya, the incantation, is something that is very important. With respect to, there's some other practices in the world, something to do with urine and stool collections. This is not from the Sunnah. This is not from the Sunnah. There's nothing with urine or taking or sprinkling urine or doing anything with the stool. There's no practice of this nature that is an accepted practice within our religion. This is totally fabricated, and you try to stay away from these practices that have no basis within our religion. Okay. Again, any questions on this? Yes, there's a question here, brother. We have questions on the sister side too? Not yet? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
If you are making your adhkar and you are doing the ruqya, after that and you have the tawakkul, then is there still a chance that the effects of the evil eye or the magic may persist and that you may need some special attention, or inshallah, is that enough?
Inshallah, usually, for something that's very small and very easy to handle, usually that's enough. But if there's special cases, then that's something that you would have to probably approach a person who is actually like a sheikh that is a specialist in ruqya incantations, like magic and evil eye types of incantations, and you may have to approach a sheikh for that if it persists. Normally, this will take care of majority of the smaller issues that most people are going through. And you see it all the time. I'm pretty sure it happened to me a few days ago, when somebody made a remark on something. Like let's say it's your favorite shirt, the next thing you know, ink bled on your shirt, right? It happens all the time, right? Somebody says, you have nude in your face, and then what happens to you? A tree branch hits you right in your face. Things. There's ways to protect it. When you're complimenting someone, Umar bin Khattab radiallahu ta'ala warda used to, say throw dust on me. Throw dust on me. Why are you leaving me open for the shaitan? Right? So if somebody were to compliment him, he'd be like, throw dust on me. Don't praise me so much. Praise Allah. If you're saying something, say mashallah, tabarakallah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Something that is exalting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in sharing that this is indeed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given this person such and such. And so when you are honoring that, then Allah protects that person as well as you. And so that is the habit that we should try to get into. So whenever we are saying something, mashallah, very beautiful. Mashallah, you have a very lovely child. Mashallah, very beautiful building. Mashallah, very beautiful car. You know, mashallah is a word that should be wet on your tongue all the times. Saying mashallah, by the way, that all that means is it's by the will of Allah. But just saying by the will of Allah, you acknowledge it, and there's protection within it. And if you don't say it, you're not saying it, you're leaving it open. And then when that openness is there, that it's subject to that, the outside forces, the shaitan comes, and one of the things that you leave your brother or your sister open for is that humiliation and that harm from the shaitan. And so that's what you want to protect yourselves from and your brother and sister from. Sisters, no questions today? SubhanAllah. Usually sisters ask a lot of questions. Okay, let's continue. One of the most beautiful things about seeing is seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in paradise. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this in the Quran as well, that you're going to have more, وَزِيَادَةً. And there's more. And what is that more? The Prophet ﷺ expanded upon that and saying that more is the seeing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right now, we have this faith in Allah by not seeing Allah. Right? No one has seen Allah. Not even the Prophet ﷺ himself has seen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he went up to the heavens, up to the seventh heaven, he said that there was light upon light enveloped in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that he was unable to see Allah. So even he, the most beloved person on the face of the planet in the history of the world, has not seen Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He spoke to Allah, and that's it. He heard his blessed voice, and so he hasn't seen, but that is something that is preserved. For the people that are disbelievers, the people that are disbelievers that do not believe, they're going to not being able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even in the afterlife. When the resurrection is taking place, these people will not be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were blind in this world and they will be blind in the next world in the matter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being able to see. But the believer, once the Yawm al-Qiyamah has taken place, once your judgment is passed and you've received paradise, and then there's more, and that more is the exposure, the envelope of light. That light is going to disappear, that veil is going to disappear, and you're going to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar. That is the most beautiful sight. The most beautiful sight is to see the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the reason why we strive every day, is to see our Creator, our Lord's face on that day. And that's why we want to get closer, we want to get better. Today, we want to lower our gaze when we see something that is inappropriate. So tomorrow, when that day comes where we stand before our Lord, is when we enter, and we're going to be able to enter into paradise and be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala full-fledged. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to see His beloved face. Allahumma ameen. Yes, another question right here from my young brother Tawfiq. Yes, my brother.
When you said that that one of the prophets didn't get to see Allah's face,
No, you're going to get to see Allah's face. Inshallah, when you're going to be good all your life, you're going to get into paradise, Jannah, and then you're going to be able to see Allah.
I thought that whoever goes into Jannah gets to see Allah's face.
That is correct. But whoever gets into Jannah gets to see Allah's face. Oh, you got me right. If that's what you understood, you got me right.
But
you understood me correctly.
But I was also wondering why the Prophet didn't get to see Allah's face.
Why did the Prophet ﷺ not get to see Allah's face? Allah knows best, inshallah. I don't know why he wasn't able to see. He said that there was light. There was so much light that he was blinded by the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning the beauty of that light. Allah nur as-samawati wal ard, right? Allah is the light of this world, the heavens and the skies and the earth. So Allah is the one that is controlling this entire world. It is His world that we're living in. It is His world that we're following. We are trying to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by following His actions. And again, today we're focusing on the eyes, right? Of what you should see and what you should try to stay away from when your eyes meet it. Okay, any questions Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. There's a
Walaikum
question.
On Facebook?
What do you think about going to the doctor with the opposite gender?
So what do you guys think? There's a question on the floor. What do you think about going to the doctor for, the opposite gender? Allah Ta'ala alam. If there is a proper doctor in the gender, in the gender that, that is necessary, meaning the male is going to the males and the female is going to the females, right? Then you try your best to go. But what if you have this specialist, and this specialist is one sex, and let's say it's a male, the best brain surgeon in the world is a male, and the best, let's say, the heart surgeon in the world is a female. What are you going to do then? Your options are limited. You want to have the best healthcare, right? You want to go to the best doctor and the best treatment, right? And so Allah knows best. You try to stick to your gender as much as you possibly can. But if you're, you see your doctors referring you to someone saying like, listen, this is one of the best. You're going to get a very good treatment from this person. And it may be the opposite. And so a brother may be going to a regular doctor, a male doctor, and he refers you to another specialist that may be a female. And at that time, you need to make that assessment. Are there any other people that are comparable? If there are people that are comparable, then, you try to go to the other doctors. Otherwise, inshallah, Allah knows best. You try your best. I would say this much: like if you have doctors, and it's related to a certain area, like meaning the brain, there's not going to be that much exposure to other haram, especially with nurses around in the hospital, and there's usually protection for the patient, right? The patient has a lot of rights, and so the patient, as long as they know and they trust the person, inshallah, it may be acceptable. But for treatment purposes, if you're going to be, under anesthetics and you're going through, like, let's say, heart surgery or whatever, there's nothing, inshallah, that's going to happen. You're already on the table cut open. What is the doctor going to do to you? What is the doctor going to see at that time? You had Allah's mercy anyways, so inshallah, Allah will make it easy for you. And then give you shifa and give you the proper treatment. We have a question on the sister side here. Are you Tawfiq's sister? Yeah, I kind of met. There's a little resemblance.
You know how you said that Christians can't go to Jannah?
I didn't say Christians can't go to Jannah, but I said the disbelievers.
Blind?
Correct. All disbelievers will not be able to go to Jannah. That is correct.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because they don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, the way he should be believed in. So remember, the people of Christianity that are in existence today, and the people of Judaism, and this is a very common question, right? Especially in our youth. And for whatever reason, I don't know if you know this or not, we deal with a lot of youth. There's a lot of youth that think that Christians are okay and Jews are okay and they're all going to heaven. And that they're not kafir and they're not kuffar. They're disbelievers. Remember, Eesa alayhi salam was given the Bible, right? The Injil. And Musa alayhi salam was given the Torah, right? And these are books that were authentic. The prophets were authentic. Their message was authentic. They believe in Allah. There's none worthy of worship except for Allah. And you believe in Musa as a messenger. And that there's none worthy of worship in Allah except that you believe in Allah, and that the messenger is Eesa alayhi salam, or Jesus Christ. And so this message was there for a number of years. I don't know, you could say 100 years, 200 years, whatever the number is, right? At that point, those books were authentic, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to believe in these books, the authenticity of these books, we believe in them, the original books. Today's Bible, this is not something that we honor and believe in as we did. Does that mean that we mistreat this book? No. So these are individuals that had received the message, and then their ancestors, they've gone away from the message. Meaning, the Christians today, they took the creed that that you don't believe in anyone else except for Allah Himself, and then they took the creed and they said 3 is 1, 1 is 3, whatever the multiplication. Their math doesn't make sense. Their creed doesn't make sense. Right? Same thing with the Yahud, the Jews, they have the similarities. And then you have all the other religions that are either man-made or other religions that have come from an authentic book and have transformed into something else. They don't believe in Allah the way Allah should be believed. When you don't believe in your Creator the way He should be, the way He should be believed, then why will He judge in your favor? So you did nothing. Even though now, today, when they're antagonizing the Muslims, one of the first things they should do is they should look at our book. This is a book that has not changed in 1400 plus years. Not forget change in it. A letter of vowel hasn't changed. A letter of vowel hasn't changed, right? So, and then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they keep on saying like, the enemies of Islam equate them to terrorism and all of this. They're trying to keep their people away because they know the people are drawn to this. The people want this truth. Sheikh Khalid Yasin, what is this famous DVD? The Purpose of Life, right? The Purpose of Life. He said he puts this Purpose of Life billboard in different places, on the highways and different things. People stop the car, run, and they look and they call the number, or if they see a sign somewhere, they knock on the door and they ask, what is the purpose of life? People are starving to find out the true purpose of life. And so this is in every person. Every person is always questioning. Even a person who thinks he's Christian, who believes in Jesus, or believes in, whatever the Jews believe in, these are people that want to find out the truth. And so they have access to the truth because the book is here, right? And so if they read the book, they'll see you believe in Allah. The Christians will see that Eesa Islam died on a cross or no? He didn't die on a cross. He was lifted. He was resurrected. The Yehud would say that they were replaced, not by the Muslims, they were replaced way before the Muslims. The Christianity and Judaism, the Christianity with Eesa Islam is one that replaced Judaism because they were far away from their teachings in their book. So that's one of the reasons. And then that's a very complex lecture. So just knowing Jews, Christians, the Majus, the polytheists, they are all people that are disbelievers. They're kuffar, and anyone who is a disbeliever and who does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that has not prepared for the akhirah, is not going to be part of the winning team, which is going to be in Jannah, inshallah. And Allah knows best. Any final questions? Inshallah, we're going to wrap up in a couple of minutes. Any final questions that you have? No? You have one more question there? Tawfiq? You're thinking? All right, inshallah. MashaAllah, if the thinking wheel is continuing, you'll be in a good place, inshallah, very soon. MashaAllah. May Allah. Listen, he's only 8 years old, and I'm encouraging him, because if we encourage him at this age, this is the age of encouragement. If you're going to beat down on him and make fun of him and tell him that this is not your age, let the elders do it. No, this is the age that we need to listen from them, and this is the age that we need to hear from them. This is the age that we need to encourage them. And so if we can encourage them at 8 years old and 7 years old and 6 years old, at a very young age, you hear of miracles with, and even in today, right? I know of a sister who, when she was, with child, she used to recite the Quran every day. She used to recite the Quran every day, and while the child is, the child used to be very active within. And then as the child was born and grew up, mashallah, within a year, the child was memorizing the entire Quran. These are real things that take place. It's just a matter of us, again, taking that responsibility. Rather than thinking that we have the authority, start taking responsibility, knowing and realizing that these are things that we can do, right? And this little thing, just by reciting the Quran, and it had a major effect, that little boy right away probably already had a lot of the things memorized because it was a dream of the mother. The mother was, reading the Quran, praying, and making dua for the child. And the child memorizes the Quran at a very young age, like 5, 6 years old. SubhanAllah. So this is the age. This is the age where a lot of things can happen. A lot of good things can happen. Yes, one, I think we'll ask. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You have a question? No, I'm sorry. Ask him. Go ahead.
No, he was asking me if I ask a question, but
sure.
I was just thinking about the most comprehensive dua. You mentioned some beautiful duas, but there is also the morning afkar dua, which is Allahumma inni Allahumma fini fi badani. Allah give me a healthy body. Allahumma fini fi sami, good hearing.
Right.
Allahumma fini fi basari. La ilaha and you continue like that. That's also
it's a beautiful dua. There's so many du'as, and like I said, we can go on and on about the different du'as that are there. Inshallah. And you want to just ask him what his final question is, and then we'll inshallah break.
Well, I didn't have a question, but I had something to say.
Okay. I'll take comments.
On the day of judgment, when you go in front of Allah, your whole body speaks, and it says what you did, the bad and good you did using it.
MashaAllah. Very good. So the brother said, then when you go in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even your bodies will testify, either on your behalf or against you. And that is very true. So even the eyes, well, they will testify. Everything in your body will testify against you or for you. So if you want your body parts, everything that is about you to testify in the right manner, start with the eyes today, and inshallah, we're going to go into the stomach, the tongue, and we're going to, go into the ears, the private parts, how to, protect and how to control and manage all of these different body parts as a believer. And inshallah, we're going to continue this series for the next couple of months. Yes?
Yeah, for the sister that asked the question about the Christian and the Jews that go into Jannah, is that I want to believe that it talks about before the book was changed, the original text that to worship one God, the Jews at that time.
So the people who believe
Christian.
So the people who believe in Musa alayhi salam and practiced and followed him, they are believers.
Right.
And inshallah, they will be in Jannah. They will
Inshallah.
be in paradise.
Right.
And the people who received the authentic book during Eesa alayhi salatu wasalam's time and follow the commands of Allah and follow the message of Eesa alayhi salam, Jesus Christ, they will be believers, inshallah. And same thing with Dawood, David, and then all the other prophets, and the message that they all brought was the same message. Believe in Allah, meaning don't associate any partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only believe in Him. And remember that these are different messengers that have come about, and follow the message at those times. And so yes, that is absolutely correct. Question in the back? Brother, you're going to keep us here until Fajr time.
Is there not those group called Sabbateans or something? Sabbateans?
Yeah, there's many different groups. Remember, there's more than the prophets that we know of. There's many prophets, many different messages. So there's a difference, right? Prophets and messengers and different books that have come. And so we believe in all of the authentic books that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed. And so today there's no authentic book that is in the world that we know of except for the Quran. And so this is why the Quran is the only authentic source that you can rely on. And this is the message that you need to follow. And anybody who, in today's time, since the Prophet ﷺ's time till today, this is the only way to the proper guidance. Comment or question? Comment? All right. We'll give you one more. This will be your final one, all right? Because everybody wants to go home and eat.
Okay. Also, my dad said that what's his name again?
Say it again.
Jesus comes back to earth. He's gonna come back as a fake prophet.
No. So when Jesus, Eesa alayhi salam, does come back, he's going to come as a real prophet. Before, Jesus is going to be a fake prophet, or we call him the Dajjal, the Antichrist. And so the fake prophet will be there, and then Jesus is going to descend, he's going to come back down, and he's going to kill the Antichrist, the Dajjal. And inshallah, after our body part series, if you are interested, always share topics with us. Let us know what you're interested in. We're thinking about doing something with either the Day of Judgment itself or the major and minor signs of the Day of Judgment as well. So there's different topics and different themes that we want to continue to do. And so if there's any particular theme or topic that interests you, please let Brother Adi, the administration here, let me know, and we can communicate amongst the ranks, and then try to get this in place for everybody, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time out today, and I know it's a busy weeknight and back to work and back to school for the majority of the people here. May Allah bless you. May Allah make it easy for you. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our gathering and to bless our gathering and to, inshallah, allow us, again, to use our eyes in the proper manner for the sake of Allah, and to protect our eyes from all those things that we need protection from. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.